Shall we start? There is a signature list. It will eventually come your way, so please just sign it so we have a proof you've been here. Good morning to all of you. I'm very pleased and happy to see some familiar faces again. It's a kind of surreal to me because a year ago we were in a completely different situation, suffering British people and economy, Brexit. We had a feeling that something will happen eventually. But I'm very happy that you joined us and agreed to take a part in this project. I will run you through it this day. We will be here at least until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. After that we do something nice for a change. I would like to welcome our Croatian partners as well. They will say something about their participation eventually during this morning. You do have all your agendas in your pockets, so it's easy to see your turn when you will have to say something about your schools and your organizations. First of all, I would like to welcome a person who made this possible. Because without her support, we would not be here today. So it is our headmistress, Mrs. Jelena Crnek, and she will say a few words now. Please, warm welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to say welcome to Croatia, welcome to our school. Only a few words about school. I want to say thank you to Gimnazijum Pavla Jozefa Šaparika, Liceo Scientifico Stable Sequenza. Maybe the words are mistake or something. Okay. Srednja škola na Hroni. Okay. Agencija za odgoj i obrazovanje. Aquilonis. And teachers from our school, thank you everybody to come in our big school, thank Gimnazijum Ivan Supek. Ivan Supek is a great physical and philosophy from our country, and we are proud for his name. Thank you for becoming to our Erasmus partners. We are very proud that the other agency for mobility recognize the value of our project. Handbook for reluctant, struggling, and poor readers.
It's a long. I'm sorry. Next time, a little bit shorter.
And thank you for everything what you're doing in your past time on this project. Thank you, Jelena Crnek.
Thank you.
For everyone what you're doing about this project, and thank you all. Thank all. My English is not so good, but I hope you will understand me.
We understand.
I hope that this project will connect our schools, our teachers, our students. I wish you all a successful project in the next 2 years. And Jelena, all the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So the pointer is off, so prepare yourself, you have to run it manually. According to some scientific researches, these are the words usually appearing whenever people are saying something about reading, their impressions or first associations that comes when we speak about this process, which is very, today maybe more than ever, came into our interest. It is something we will discuss all this day and during these two weeks. This is our project. Its formal name. It's a little game for, of course, it is for RSP readers, reluctant, struggling, and poor readers. It's a long text. I'm apologizing right now, but it's text I'm going to read now. It is from our project proposal as a description of a project. It answers very accurate on the question, why is the ability to read and write so important today? In the past 7 years, reading came into European and international focus. Although within the education system and supporting structures, the problem has been recognized. The results from PISA and other scientific researches are proving that. Still, a large number of young people are finishing school without adequate literacy skills. This failure of their secondary education has irreversible consequences for their future. Lack of awareness about the issue among politicians, decision makers, and other supporting social structures is deep in the majority of European countries. EU calls for urgent action. Who are the struggling, reluctant, or poor readers? International researchers, initiatives, case studies, EU projects, and reports dedicated to the issue are proposing similar definitions when referring to adolescent readers groups as struggling, reluctant, or poor. They are the readers' population, usually age 11 to 18, who do not meet the demands of academic literacy. This is by no means the same as illiteracy. They are able to read, but not on the required complex level. Nonetheless, most of them did not develop a stable self-concept of being a reader. Their reading is hindered by obstacles they cannot yet overcome by themselves. They need the help of competent others, especially the help of professional teachers. These adolescents, many of whom enjoyed reading as younger children, soon come to see themselves as non-readers, disengaged from literacy and thus from most of other school work. When students leave primary school, they are faced with a radical shift, finding that they have left the world of storybooks and entered the world of textbooks. For many teenagers, the stage at which reading takes an academic competitive turn is the moment when the process of reading loses its pleasure. Main motivating factor for struggling readers is a lack of interest in school reading materials. What they are likely to find is a canonical literature, set literary texts, which many pupils do not see as relevant to their interests or lives. Most literature taught in teenagers in schools was originally written by adults, and it is written for adults. We teach this literature not because it is inherently appropriate for teenagers, but because we are seeking to give them a cultural education. Handbook for RSP Reader project treats literacy as an essential part of human right to education. The right to literacy in this project is translated into a right to support. Nobody struggling with literacy should be left to struggle alone. Addressing the needs of RSP readers, this project aims to improve reading skills of RSP readers population by helping them to overcome their lack of confidence in their own capabilities and lack of motivation. This is a part of our project proposal accepted. It's part of description of our project. Maybe it answers to our main questions and gives us an idea what are we going to do in the following 2 years. I'm not going to tell you more about the project today because we will be dedicated more to formal parts of implementing our activities within it. So what I would like to start with is our project cycle and our contractual obligations. We need to clear that out today so you can come to your principals and headmasters with more answers than usual. This is the purpose of today's meeting. This is our project cycle. Somewhere up there on the top, this is the stage where we are right now. After a contract signing, in between coordinator and partners, the first installment is due. So you will receive first portion of your money, I think 25% after today. You can cover your expenses by coming to Zagreb. After that, we are about to start with our activity implementation, and the first report, 6 months report, will come somewhere around, I don't know, I think it's February, I believe. Second installment then is due, again, activity implementation report, very important one. After 12 months, we will need to join all our expenses and give a first serious report to a national agency. Activity implementation, third installment, again, activity implementation, final report. I will say a lot about it. It's an important point from no return. So it has to be a very good one. And fourth installment, last from national agency. I would like you all to clear out that the amounts we are receiving right now are pre-financing, okay? It's about 80% of money we received right now. But if our project fails, not only that we are not going to receive the last installment, but it is a possibility, which of course we are not going to let them. It is a possibility to, that national agency says, okay, this is a rubbish, so please return your money. Of course, this will not happen. Here we are, right now. You all received contracts, signed them with all your annexes, saying in very detailed about the budget, work packages, and revision of budget. This revision is saying much more about actual approval from a national agency, because we ask a little bit more, a lot more, but we have not been approved with total amount. This means also that our obligation stays the same. From the project proposal we gave to agency, all our activities are included in it, but there is a little less money for it. We agreed. Okay, we said, okay, we will try to do it the best possible way. Financial and contractual rules and general conditions, together with our main agreement signed in between National Agency and 10th Gymnasium as a coordinator. I believe and hope you all read your contracts. It is an important point. If you didn't, please read them very carefully once more, or as many times as you need to. Ask questions, not today, of course, when you come to your home, again, it is very important for all of you to understand the issue of this agreement, and so in the future we won't have any misunderstandings. What is it about your, of course, your obligations within this project, and so please just take your time and read them again. These are our budget categories. You will, as well as we received funds for management and implementation, intellectual results, transnational project meetings, learning, teaching and training activities, and multiplier events. When you will spend your money on these categories, you have to be very careful to spend them within these budget categories. Okay? There is a possibility of relocating some money from one category to another, but you have to be very careful about it, and it is very important for the project in total to check with a coordinator before you do it. Okay? It is allowed to switch up to 20% funding for managing and implementation transnational project meetings, intellectual results, events with multiplier effects, that's a final conference, activities of learning, teaching, training to any other category except to the management and implementation of the project and exceptional costs. We did not ask for exceptional costs, but, for example, if you are going to take on mobility, activity of learning, teaching and training, a person or a pupil that has some disabilities, we can still ask for exceptional cost. To be quite clear, so you can relocate from managing and implementation, but you cannot put the money in it. Okay, it is so-called lump sum. Eva was very kind to explain to me what does it mean. It is what you are getting for your managing and project costs. It is a kind of area of your own autonomy. You can do whatever is needed to get this project to be success one, but you have to prove, of course, that you've spent it on a project, not for something else. Okay? There are limitations, of course. Each transfer within the budget can lead to a maximum of 20% increase the amount allocated to a particular budget category at the level of the entire project. If you are moving 20%, you have to check with us, because maybe at the same time Jan and Eva decided to move 20%. Okay? All of you. You have to check with us, because the 20% has to be on the level of whole project, not only yours. If you're the only one, then it is okay. But if there are more of you, then you cannot, each one of you cannot move 20% from one category to another. You have to, of course, call me or please write me an email so we can know what you are doing. Special needs can switch resources allocated to any category on support for special need, even if not originally assigned. In this case, it does not apply maximum and increase of 20%. So in this case, we can raise this percentage if that situation occurs. Our final report is a very important point for this project. It will be in a tool called Mobility Tool. I believe you all received annotation or invitation for a mobility tool, but as I understood, you will not need that tool. We had problems logging in. I think only a coordinator will have to deal with it. But it is a very transparent tool, because all your expenses will be integrated in this final report. It is a very important point because it proves that we spend our money on this project. So your expenses will have to be very accurate and transparent, of course. Also, please bear in mind when this moment comes. Our project lasts from 1st of September this year, and it will end exactly on August 31st. What does it mean? That all expenses you have, they have to be spent until 31st of August. Otherwise, they will not be eligible. Okay? We cannot say, of course, now we are going to wait for 20% from a national agency, and then we will spend the rest of the money, meaning 20%. No, you have to finance it by your own, and pray, of course, that they will pay us the rest of 20%. I think this is a usual policy for all of you. You already had experience with these projects. We have to wait for those 20% last installment. But we have to spend all money, all 100% of our amount until this date. So bear that in mind. And say that to your principals, of course. I will not read everything because it would be very exhausting, but this is what the national agency will look for when analyzing our final report. Products, results, using the common criteria, focusing on following. Extent, we have to be within our time of project, the quality of the activities. This is probably the most important things. Our activities and final products, they have to be of high quality. Okay? We will assure that by nominating the kind of committee dedicated to this issue. Quality of activities and their relation to the objectives of the project. Quality of the products and results of the project, the learning outcomes and impact on the participants. To what extent is demonstrated innovativeness? So if this project would be rated as not non-innovative, we will not be approved. So it is by itself already innovative. Complementary with other initiatives. What is the added value to EU level? To what extent are implemented effective measures of quality assurance and evaluations of results? The effect of the organizations participating in the project. This is a kind of measuring tool from national agency and EU, measuring quality activities, monitoring, supporting to the participants, the evaluations of learning outcomes, and so on. The quality and scope of implemented dissemination activities. Potential broader impact on individuals and organizations outside of the consortium. So they will look in all these categories when we put the final report analysis to them. So, our budget categories are at the same time activities. You all receive them as an annex to your contracts, and they are explaining what is considered to be activity implementation. You will spend your money regarding to management and implementation on planning, finance, coordination and communication between partners. Whatever you consider important to apply on this category. Materials for teaching, training, learning tools, virtual collaboration and local project activities, information, promotion, dissemination. I will say dissemination for many times today, because it is probably the most important thing as a product of any project, EU project, not only this one. Nelly has to go teaching a little bit, so she will be back again. Hi, bye Nelly, bye. Brochures, leaflets, websites. We already developed our website from this first point of view, so you can lean on it, or you can develop your own within your country and your school with a link to a main one. Translation project meetings. We have 3 of them. Okay, they're not the same as teaching and training activities, which will take place in Prague. Okay. Participation in the meetings of the project partners in the organization of one of the organizations of the consortium, we are consortium, for the implementation and coordination of the project. There must be a formal connection between users, organizations to persons participating in meetings. What is important from this point of view, that you have to prove, and you will put it on our Google Drive, your contract within your school that connects you with your organization. Okay, you have to prove that you are working for your organizations or school. By giving us, we will see how big is your salary. Yes. No? No? Okay. Yeah, but you have to give us, it doesn't have to be actual contract, but more like certificate that yes, this person is our employee. Okay, and he will attend the translational meeting. Okay. We will come to that, but this is a rather important point. You don't have to scribble everything. We will put it on the Google Drive. Only questions that would be good for the final discussion. Intellectual results. This is actually what is it all about. What we have to produce within this project. As you already, probably all of you, noticed, this project is not the usual K2 project. It has very little to do with the students' mobility. We have only one student mobility. But the main work will have to be done by you. Okay? We all, our teams, of course, it's not the work for only one person. You will all have to work on these intellectual outcomes. Okay? Case study. We are right now. We are in this first phase of this project. Handbook for RSP readers, meaning a lot of it. I'll say later on what includes many things. Curriculum and training materials, and the last one, if we succeed, it will be a digital classroom with handbook for teachers. So our main purpose is not only to help our pupils, our RSP readers, but to try to educate as well teachers in ways how to handle these pupils. Must be at a satisfactory level of quality. Partner must be able to demonstrate a formal association with an employee who works on the results. The same thing, your contract, okay? And your colleagues, of course, from your teams. Leader, researcher, teacher, technicians, administrative staff. Whoever will take part in this project and work for it, you have to show proof that they are actually your employees. Learning, teaching and training activities. We cannot move them to any other country, or we cannot move them to any other city, which we would find appropriate. If you are from Prague, then we must do it in Prague. It would be nice to go to Split or Hvar, but we will not be able to do that. Okay? It is important for this activity to be maintained in the partner countries. Should prove a formal association with people in mobility. Again, the same thing. Multiplier events. if we come to them at the end of our project, we will organize a main tool for dissemination of our project. We got it approved, you got the funds for it, and you will cover many things with this money. But the main goal is dissemination of intellectual results of the project in countries where there are organizations of the consortium. Only participants outside the consortium can be included in the total number of persons, which is determined by the amount of financial support. Costs for representatives of the partnerships are not eligible. Meaning what? When you will organize a final conference, you will invite so-called stakeholders, okay? Municipality, I don't know, some important politician, someone from Ministry of Education, and so on. We predicted that you will be able to collect at least 40 persons for each one of it. It will not be in one country. It will run simultaneously in each country, and we will connect in a way, probably via Skype or some other connection to see what you are doing at the same time. Okay, so your signature is not valid in this event. It has to be someone else's from a part from your organization. Okay, someone who decides about the educational policy, an important person, a famous person. Why not? Yeah? You will have to collect 40 spectators for this event, right? So now we came to dissemination. You will find the dissemination in center of each of your activity. Dissemination means a lot. It's not only this. Yeah? You don't have to necessarily produce something, but it would be nice to have a giveaways, so-called. You don't have to spend all your project money for dissemination. I have to point this out. Money you receive for project management is also money with the purpose of dissemination. If you are going to spend something, you have to spend it from that budget category. It means a lot. Mainly it is more about spreading the news or the word about the project. Okay. Every partner will have to develop his own dissemination plan. That would be ideal. If you don't develop it, then we will have to propose in a kind way a dissemination plan, which is not natural. It is, you know your circumstances and the best ways to disseminate the results of project within your countries. This is only example of Croatian dissemination plan. It will probably expand. Maybe not everything will be arranged during these 2 years, but it is what we wish for. For example, 4 web newsletters, 2 TV appearances with the headmistress, okay? 2 radio broadcasts, 2 webinars, school newspaper, Facebook, website. As you can see, we already have a website under construction. Link to stakeholders' websites as well. If you can connect with the people from Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, so they can link to us, this is very important. It proves that our project has a roof support, okay, from an institution which is important, like our partner, Miss Mirella. She will probably do a lot but in this area of dissemination. There is a 5th World Literature Festival. You're all invited, of course, if you would like to come again. It will take place again next year in Zagreb. So if you would like to attend, we can arrange for it. We will definitely participate in it. Public library programs. Our library, public libraries, they have very nice and strong programs dedicated to our pupils. You can take them to a library. Of course, wherever you go, you have to mention a project. You have to take photos. You have to take videos or whatever you think it is appropriate to prove that you disseminate a project results. Okay? It's not a virtual dissemination. It has to be evidenced by any material you put inside in this project activity. Okay? Photos. Take a lot of photos wherever you go. Okay? Promotional video. We are about to do one with our pupils. And of course, final conference, it's a main tool for dissemination of this project. So try to develop something like this. Beside intellectual outcomes, this will be one of your first tasks when you come home. Okay? Try to do this as soon as you can. Since the start of the Erasmus Plus program, the European Commission stresses the importance of dissemination and exploitation as an important criteria for success of projects. The sustainability and visibility, missing one letter, of investment from the European Union. Therefore, the Erasmus enabled dissemination platform for the results of projects Erasmus Plus. We are already there. You all received. The platform looks like this. Our project is already there. It's announced. Okay, connecting. Okay, this is a platform with many other, of course, projects, not only ours. I'll show ours immediately. Here we are. We have our number, of course. Within all your correspondence, please take care that you always put the number of a project. I'll tell about it later on. So this is a summary of our project. Our participating countries, key action cooperation for innovation and the exchange of good practices. This is our main category. Okay. Very important thing. It will come eventually, but whatever you do, whichever material you produce, it is very important that our projects are having, according to these guidelines, they have formal Erasmus logo together with the Agency of Mobility. I'm not sure, are they obliged, Vesna, to have our agency logo on their project materials? We usually do. Okay. So, and the of course, sorry.
So important.
Yes.
This logo.
Yeah, but this one is very important, and you have to point out that this program is funded with European Union, Erasmus Plus, and so on, together with our agency logo and our project logo. Whatever you do, these three logos have to be printed on your materials. You will find these guidelines here, but if you don't want to bother, because it's not it is friendly user, but to be sure you will go and visit these pages. But if you don't want to do that, you can find them already on display on our dissemination folder, Project Google Drive. Okay, we already put them there. Also, whatever you produce, it has to contain so-called disclaimer. It's a type of declaration of exclusion of liability, meaning, for example, for any publication in English, saying this publication or communication reflects the views only of the author, and the Commission cannot be held responsible for any use which may be made of the information contained therein. Okay, whatever you print out or showing to someone else has to contain this disclaimer notice. Okay, it's very important. So, a little work for you. We do not have to decide it today, but within 7 days you will have to notice us, what you have decided. There are 2 types of committee which you will have to include in this project. It's not necessary that you will be the persons involved in this, but we have to have this in, generally on the project level. We have to assure quality of our project. Quality management team, you will have to form a team of people within your organizations who will take care of quality of this project. Okay? They will say, please don't do that, it's a rubbish. You have to do it in a good quality manner. Each partner country will monitor the project activities within your country, of course. Quality Assurance Committee to be nominated. 1 representative proposed from each partner that has the competence to make decisions for the respective institution. The committee will ensure a high quality and consistency in implementation of quality and evaluation tools and processes. Is this clear to you? First, you will have to have a team. You can be involved, of course, but it would be better if someone not so emotionally impartial. I think it's a word. Nepristran, Silva. Impartial. Yeah, thank you very much. The project coordinator will be the chair of Quality Assurance Committee. The committee will, among its members, choose the most outstanding one who will act as an evaluator. I have an idea already, but who would be the one acting as an evaluator, but of course we have to sit and give this proposal out after a certain time. Evaluator will provide guarantee for the independence of the evaluation processes by taking into account the requirements set out by the consortium in the quality assurance plan. The evaluator will produce an evaluation plan for the project. Evaluation reports also every 6 months. And final report at the end of the project, not the final finance report, but the final evaluation report. Okay? It will be 1 person among us. The evaluator will sign a code of conduct where he will declare his commitment to complete objectivity and impartiality in his actions. Okay? He will have to be very, very objective. Frequency of these checks, as frequent as it is possible. Okay? Such quality checks will carry out continuously or frequently depending on current project status. Particularly at the milestones of project stages, there are 3 of them. Intensively through the phase of project implementation and at the final phase. The process of quality checks will be an ongoing implementation activity, where all partners will make an effort by working closely with their management team and coordinator as a leader. All partners will ensure compliance with the agreements and regularly monitor and review all parts and activities of every planned outcome. So these checks will have to be very, very frequent. Good? We have to make sure that we are producing the quality materials. This is necessary, of course. Steering committee. Also, it would be good if not the same persons will not be at the quality committee and the steering committee as well, not the same ones. I presume you all already have your teams, or maybe at least an idea who would be part of your national teams. Established in order to bring executive decisions and high-level advice to the project. Each partner will nominate a representative that has the competence to make decisions for the respective institution. This is as well your task when you come home. Members of the steering committee will be empowered to decision-making processes. Yes, Eva?
It will be difficult. Find so many people.
Decisions will be taken by consensus, whenever possible. In case of conflict resolution, decisions will be taken by voting. Okay. We have to predict that at a certain point, maybe not, I'm hoping that this will not happen, but you never know, okay? We have to have a certain tool or way to resolve our possible, maybe potential conflicts, okay? Decision will be taken by consensus. In case of conflict resolution, decision will be taken by voting. Every member will have one vote, and the majority of votes will be needed. Is it agreeable to you all? Okay. The chairman will be a project coordinator. If you have any doubts about this, or maybe some other suggestion, you're free to, we can discuss it further on, later on. The steering committee will meet and work by virtual communication every 6 months, or when possible during project coordination meetings. When we meet, we can organize a committee meeting. Otherwise, we will have to meet virtually at least every 6 months. They will operate on levels of conflict-solving decisions, expenditures, general budget and proposed amendments, major changes in particular parts of project. It may occur, of course. Then we will have to ask for approval from a national agency. Possible changes in staff allocations, actions against defaulting partners with consequence of bringing the new partner to the consortium. This is it's not happy situations, but we can maybe say something about this. This article is included in your contracts, so please read them very carefully. What is a possible situation when you could be expelled from a partnership? Okay? Of course, force majeure. Someone, for God forsaken, dies or goes to pension or something. We cannot be sure that this person will be involved in a project for future time. Many things are possible force majeure. Conflict will be solved at the lowest possible level. Lowest possible level are us. Okay? If we cannot resolve the conflict, the project coordinator will mediate. I will only mediate. Okay? Only in cases when agreement cannot be reached through usual decision-making procedure. If that would not be of mutual satisfaction, of course you don't have to agree always. Yeah? Steering committee will seek for an advice and recommendation for further action in agencies of partners country. If necessary, steering committee will ask for the authorization of European committee for further actions. Okay, so we can climb very high levels until the conflict is resolved. Hopefully not. Yeah? Risks within projects. There are many. Okay? Let's say this is the usual group of such risks. Poor communication. Please answer this mail for 10th time. I'm calling you. Please deliver. Please deliver. No, no answer. Okay? This is serious project risk. For this, you can be expelled from partnership. Okay? If the 5 of us are waiting for you and you are not delivering, this will be a serious problem. Unexpected technical difficulties, they may occur. Human operational errors, very common one. Okay? Planning poor deliverables quality, uncompleted tasks, violation of deadlines, and so on. Resource shortage caused by I have a problem with this word always. Expenses. Yeah. If you were spending your money on things you were not supposed to, eventually you will face a shortage. Okay? And then you will call coordinator and say, I have no money. What will I do? I have to deliver. Of course, if you are not spending it properly, you won't have enough for many things you ought to spend on your project. Okay. Not achievable goals in terms of budget feasibility. Okay. We are faced right now with the fact that we will have much more work than we actually have money. But I believe that a lot of us already put more than extra effort in this project, and no one can pay that to us. Okay, if we didn't want to enter this project, we would never. We didn't take a calculator and say, okay, I will earn this or that. It's a completely different dimension. That is why are we here today, all of us. So, risk management. Each activity or output leader or a partner will immediately report to the project coordinator any risk situation. If you are even thinking that a problem will occur in a certain period of this project, you have to consult your project coordinator. You need to say to us, please, I will face the problem, shortage of staff at the milestone of this project. What are we going to do? Please do that. It is very important. Any risk situation that may affect the accomplishment of the project objectiveness. The steering committee will be consulted in order to bring the decisions, which will consequently reduce the impact of risk occurring. Decisions may include adjustments of project strategy, strengthened supervision, changes to implementation agreements, changes in budget allocation, if we all agree upon such a solution. So, this is my proposal. You do not have to agree with it, but each of you will be a leader for certain activities. Okay, think about it. This is how I see it. You will have to take leadership in certain activities. Okay? Not all partners are included because some of them will take other parts, other important roles in the project. Okay? Think about it when you come home and you know, when the things come down. Here we are. It took me much more time to make this presentation. It seems that if you would like maybe to make a little break or have a coffee or take some air, afterwards we will say something about your activities, and you will present yourselves as a schools to us. So we hear loudly what are you doing and why are you here. Okay, please refresh yourself. Coffee.
I want to one thing, please.
Sorry? Yes.
About your presentation.
Oh, yeah.
I want to tell all parents to think today about
To think today.
project risks today. We must think today because it is very important to our project.
Okay.
To know what risk will be in our project. Please think about it and write in your folders.
Okay, so if we are already aware maybe of potential risks right now,
Yes.
maybe it's time to say it loudly so we can discuss it. Okay? Good. Have a coffee or a tea or something. Otvorite malo vrata. Aha. Malo. Da.